These are the bikes, the engineering that all the companies they are into that kind of war zone, right? Gorgeous, gorgeous is the right term. और हम फाइनली डुगाटी पहुंच चुके हैं। यह है पोर्शे एंड डुगाटी का शोरूम जो है साथ में। घर से बहुत ज़्यादा दूर नहीं था, 7-8 किलोमीटर ही था, तो हम पहुंच ही गए हैं। अब बस यहाँ पार्क करते हैं और देखने के लिए चलते हैं कैसी है बाइक। So guys, we are at VST Ducati, and on my background, basically on the back side, you can see Porsche and the Ducati showroom. So you have a 5-blade here. So the first thing which my eyes picked up was the 5-blade, and then of course the Hayabusa. And then you have lot many Ducati bikes. You see the V4 that we reviewed last time. So we are here in the showroom now. Bye. All good. How about you? You have the bikes as well, right? Okay. You can actually see the bike. It looks gorgeous. Gorgeous is the right term, because you don't get to see a bike this beautiful. I'll just give you a walk around. To start with, I'll tell you what are the changes. So basically, from the front, if you see headlights, it's more narrow. It's not like the earlier one. And the winglets that you see, it is more attached to the bike. It doesn't look like it is a separate thing which is coming out from here and protruding from the side of the bike. It comes basically from the fascia itself, and it's a red color. So they have put the same color as the bike. And the major change that I can see, it gets the dual side of swing arm, which earlier models were not having that. They were having a single side, which was a kind of signature style of Ducati, but they might have moved out because the bike is more close to the MotoGP styling right now. And once again, you get the Pirelli tires, which is a 200 section. Proper racing tire. These are racing tire by Pirelli Supercrossa Diablo. Runs as 200 section and 17 inch of the wheel. And you have the exhaust system. It's very boxy, and that gives a very smooth sound of the V4. And look at the seating. It looks very premium. If you look from the top, it is not exactly the dark black or the asphalt black. It's more of a, you can compare actually. This is more black, this is more of a grey stone, and it looks very smooth. And you have a air exit from the coil also. And you get a complete TFT console cluster, which has a branding of Panigale V4. I was talking about the shock absorbers. So front comes with Showa. And you have the braking system from Brembo. These mirrors are not foldable, so I'll show you how it works. It is like a car mirror. You can actually move it from here. Very slightly, not much. Because you have one seating position, it's more of a sports seating position. So it doesn't make sense to basically fold the mirror and all. You can actually go with slight adjustments. So that's what it is. And mostly the guys who are riding on the track, they remove the mirror, so that doesn't add something beyond that. And you have a damper system also from Showa. These are the Ducati traction control. And you have various other modes and features. For that, we'll start the bike and explore. So you go to the settings, and the moment you enter the launch control, you have standard, medium and expert. And moreover, you have other modes as well, which is more track focused, so you can actually set up the custom configurations to it. And the bike has 4 riding modes, which is full, high, medium and low, where the full gets you the maximum power and these modes are replicated as per the MotoGP bikes. And then you have the ABS control, which is having multiple sub modes in that. And then you have the engine braking system that also comes with multiple modes. So I'll get you the front look. So this is how the bike looks like. If you can see the bike, Aditya is 6'1", and he's easily touching the ground. And the bike has a presence, somebody who is 6 feet and above. The presence of the bike is too good. It has a proper racing seating position. It is not that heavy, so you can actually see. I'm not exactly sure about the figures on the weight, but it could be around somewhere around 190 to 196 kg. And it is very comfortable because I've been riding so many super sports, but this feels like, it gives you that kind of feel the moment you sit on the bike, you connect with it. So right now what you see here, I'm just giving you a snapshot of a video which Marquez was riding in the last race from Thai GP. It looks very similar to that bike, right? If you put a Ducati factory labeling, it looks very similar to that. The last 3 years has been ruled by Ducati in the MotoGP, and you have the winners, whether it's from the factory trick or the Ducati Pramac, like George Martin, who won the last MotoGP. And that's what the company is trying to bring in to the bike for its end users, basically the riders who ride on the normal roads and go for tracks sometime. You've seen the modes. Now we'll just see how the bike sounds. You heard the bike, how it sounds, and I didn't rev much because we are in the showroom and it is a noisy engine. Basically it has a very brutal sound because it's a very powerful motorcycle. It comes with a 1103cc engine which generates almost 213 bhp of power. That's the brake horsepower I'm talking about. I'll tell you, you would have heard the engine. There is no lag in the sound. Trust me, in the last vlog which you have seen, I was riding the V4S, which is the naked bike. There was no lag in the throttle as well. You know why is that? That's why it comes with a V4 association to its name, because it's a V4 engine, and that's the speciality of the engine, because it reduces even the minimal lagness in the throttle response. You see the CP4 in the Yamaha, that is a cross plane, or you see the turbocharged bikes from Kawasaki, or in the inline force in the BMW. These are all different kind of engines. So when you hear a different type of engines, which I'm talking about, so the entire war in the motorcycling industry is about gaining that 0 to 100 speed and reducing the time for it. Some will claim 2.9 seconds or 3 seconds. So that's how it is. We talk about the V4. It has the minimal lagness in the throttle response. That's what makes it a very different bike from what we have in the market. Definitely, you have all other bikes, which are great in a way in terms of their speed as well as in terms of acceleration. So if I have to put across, these are basically masterclass engines which has been associated with different companies, with each of the flagship. Lot many Ducati bikes running nowadays in the MotoGP, and the last 3 years had been fantastic for the Ducati team, because you have 3 championships under them right now, right away. It started long back. It has a legacy in the MotoGP. You had Loris Capirossi, and then you had Stoner, who had won MotoGP titles for Ducati, but then there was a complete drought in the era of Ducati. Then comes the time, when we have the new bikes from Ducati, and Pecco took up, winning 2 championships. Last year we had George Martin. So these are the bikes, the engineering that all the companies, they are into that kind of war zone, right? Analyze the data, understanding each of the patterns, the riding style, minimizing the lagness in the engine, and that DNA comes to the production bikes as well. So this bike gets the closest DNA from the MotoGP bikes. And as I told you, this comes with a 1103cc engine and it has a 213 bhp. So guys, while we speak about the specs on the bike, I just wanted to present the looks on top of it, because that adds the cherry on the cake. You know, this is how it looks from the front. It looks brutal and it holds the Desmo lineage of the MotoGP bikes. So guys, this was Ducati V4 for you. You have one more model which comes as V4S. This is a standard model and this is coming almost 29.99 lakhs ex-showroom. The V4S, it is another 6 lakhs to it. So basically, if you look at Bangalore figures, you might add the insurance as well as the road tax, so that will go on for another 6-7 lakhs. So that's all about the bike. Okay, so I told you last time that I'll be visiting a showroom sometime and we will come for the launch of Ducati V4 Panigale. That's how where we are right now. We'll also ride the bikes and show you how it performs on the road as well. See you in the next vlog. Thank you very much. We have one more bike which has been launched, which is the Desert X. This is a new model of Desert X, which is 2025. It's one of the hypercross between an adventure and an endurance bike.